On this episode of Positive Profiles, we're going to be speaking with one of our locally and internationally acclaimed chefs, none other than Mr. Marvin Applewaith himself, who's going to be telling us all about cuisine, culture, and he's going to be sprinkling a little bit of je ne sais quoi into our dialogue today. I'm your host, Rashid Holder, and welcome to Positive Profiles. Marvin, you are no stranger to the cooking scene or the culinary scene here in Barbados, so I want to welcome you to Positive Profiles.
It's a pleasure to be here, man. Thanks
And
for having me.
thank you for being here. I know you're taking some time off your busy schedule, and the first thing I want to find out from you is how did you get started into cuisine?
Well, I always had a love for food and good tasting food.
Mm-hmm.
My family have a long line of people that cook good food as well, and just watching my mother in the kitchen, they were always wondering how she prepared those meals.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to learn how to do it for myself as well. So that paired with the fact that I was never really much into academics.
Mm-hmm.
When I was finished secondary school, just thinking about what path I wanted to go down. Every other course was like, God, study for this amount of years, that amount of years. Then I see culinary arts, 2 year program. It's a, no,
You can trade this
I
in.
try this in.
And I read somewhere that you were a kitchen addict,
Yeah, well,
and I think what I read was that you were also a pro at frying nuggets.
yeah. I mean, before I went to culinary school, I couldn't really, I couldn't cook. I just know what tasted, and I see the processes, but I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
So I went into culinary school pretty raw, just knowing how to fry nuggets. And at that time, a lot of people would have laughed at me. But we don't go back in the side story and then, like, not laugh at me, like,
Mm.
but it's just, you're at school, young people,
Yeah, lack of
that person,
encouragement
that person
in,
that
in, in
can't
this
really cook.
chose.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So it's just, gaff. And,
So you didn't do homework at school then?
nah, I was raw.
Right.
But I mean, I managed to apply myself and just learn from every experience, and that leads into the whole kitchen addict side of it. I just used to love being in any kitchen. Like I was
Mm.
that person that once you call me and tell me what I got this going on here,
Or
work here,
lime
work
going
here,
on.
I did, and
You,
in the kitchen, I just want to see what's going on wherever, everywhere I go, I go in the kitchen, they trying to see what's going on, and that's always kind of learn more.
right. So would you say then that that love for being in the kitchen allowed you to express yourself in a different way that you weren't able to obviously had you chosen to go along the academic path?
Yeah, it would. I mean, when you said there's something that I don't think people mention enough,
Mm.
because I'm a pretty reserved person.
Yeah.
I'm not loud or don't really speak much, but once I'm in the kitchen and once I'm in that element, I kind of express myself not only through the food, but even personality wise. Like
Yeah.
my people and my friends and my team will always tell you, like, the most you will hear me talk is
When you're
when I'm
in
in
the
the
kitchen.
kitchen.
Right. So the best of you comes out in the kitchen.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Right. So tell me about, life outside of being a chef. What does Marvin enjoy doing when he's not in the kitchen?
For sure, learning with friends,
Hmm.
being around people that I appreciate. I love sports
Yeah.
on a whole. My favorite sports being cricket, football, horse racing.
Yeah.
Got a real passion for horses since I was young. So I would actually go as far as to say horses was my first love, and cooking come after. To
You
be
didn't
honest,
ever explore trying to be a jockey though.
man, to be honest, if you wait with a permit, I probably would have been going on the Garrison on no, but
Yeah.
obviously, as a little man, you got aspirations, like tell you something, I want to be a jockey or something, but
Hmm.
life had a life had a different plan.
Well, yeah, life definitely had a different plan and it set you on the course to where you are now.
Yeah, correct.
What are some of the highlights that you would say throughout your cooking experiences you really stick out for you?
Um, I mean, that's a good question too. There's a lot of stuff that stuck out to me. I would have mean a lot along the journey.
Junior chef, bronze.
Yeah. I mean, making the culinary team alone
Mhm.
was good. I think that's something that I always wanted, and to achieve it was good.
At what age did
Um,
you achieve that?
I was first on the culinary team. It was I was 17 maybe. No,
Mhm.
17, 18.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
still relatively inexperienced,
yeah, correct,
coming out of
correct.
gaining your associate degree in hospitality and working at some of the island's premier
Yeah, but I
institutions.
mean, things that stick out for me is like not really like even like certain like I say like a lot, but it's not like accomplishments and stuff like that. Like if you was to ask me things that stick out to me, I would tell you things like when I first worked at the Cliff
Hmm.
and got that responsibility of working the station by myself.
Yeah.
That's something that had mean a lot to me, and I did a lot for my confidence also.
Hmm.
Coming from a chef that training, not having the most confidence, knowing the background, you come in raw, and then being put in a position where you come to work and this station is yours.
Yeah. So you go and
Everything
handle
that
everything here.
correct that I think was turning points. I wouldn't say highlights, but turning points.
Yeah.
There's a lot of highlights. I could call highlights all
Well,
the
well,
time.
give me two then. Give me
Uh,
two for sure. That you think would resonate with our audience.
all right, culinary team for sure,
Hmm.
and doing the soup drive last year. I did a soup drive in Warrens
Yeah.
to kind of do my part in assisting some people that would have lost their homes in the fire downtown. They had it,
Yeah.
and yeah, like I said, a shy person, and to put on and just put a video out there saying, man, I can sell some soup
Yeah.
and get some proceeds, get the proceeds to the people,
Hmm.
and then to show up that afternoon and see a bunch of people line up in the
Just,
sun,
just waiting
like
for this
we're
soup.
just waiting for soup even before we start.
Yeah.
For me, that again was a highlight for me because it just shows like after the years and work that you put in, like people really
Recognize.
support, and it made me feel good to see that. I like Barbados backed me
Yeah.
to do something.
Especially as you say, where when you first started off, persons might have been probably wondering what Marvin doing.
Yeah,
What Marvin really doing with this
yeah,
cooking thing?
correct,
We really
true,
looking to achieve from doing this here. So
true.
from that to this year, where you're getting a lot of support. I see obviously you're at some of the top tier events,
Mm.
the all inclusive events. One of the events that and I think this is where we first met as well, is an event that I think this was during one of the reggae
Yeah, we had
weekends.
to go.
Yeah, I had the goat.
Mr. Chef, sir, just tell me what's in it. Again,
That's a small goat taco with pickled fennel, feta cheese, and a aioli.
right. So when my mouth the watering on the radio when it's talking about these things, listening to Ingrid, right? Smoked goat is a must. I'm telling you, it's like mass productions. If you don't try the smoked goat, you ain't trying nothing.
One of them is the son of
Get
the
out of
high
here.
Bernard. He calls himself.
And I said to myself, or I ain't familiar with this guy here, but I can try this station. And I had all of the food at the station. And I said to myself, I want to meet the chef.
Yeah.
Because this food tastes so good, right? That I gotta make sure that I give kudos to the chef. And from there I was like, well, wherever I see Marvin Applewaith, I know his station is synonymous with good food.
Yeah, that's what it's about, man. That's what it's about.
And obviously being a chef, you would know, well, at different points in time, you can see what people are doing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can take this and put your own spin on it.
But that's what it's all about. I mean, it's not about recreating the view. I'll tell you something along that same lane as it relates to cooking. When I first got into the cooking too, also because I learned to cook culinary school, went straight into working hotels and restaurants. So I kind of knew how to do fine cuisine more so than traditional Bajan cooking.
Yeah.
So every single time that I get put in a situation where I have to showcase my skills or I get the chance to showcase, I always try to do something real different and real super like
Yeah.
fine cuisine, and
Sometimes people can remember.
I try to recreate the wheel all the time. And then people will always like it. I'm like, yeah, that was nice and that was different, and I enjoy that,
Yeah.
But you know what really makes stuff take off is when you start to go back to the simple stuff and just put slick twists. You know, you take stuff that people already enjoy,
Yeah.
that they already know, and put very slick twists to it. And I find that that is way more effective than trying to recreate the wheel. So that's just what comes to mind when you say, you know, you take things and you put your own twist on it. You know.
Which is what I would have started by saying we can talk cuisine, but we
Yeah.
can also talk culture.
Yeah. True.
You know, so you being a culinary artist, that's how I
Mm.
like to brand you, describe you. You know, I think that you take a good blend of what we have as Barbadians and what we enjoy as Bajans, and put that, you know, culinary,
Yeah.
you know, aspect to it by saying, well, it's this, but I can turn it into this.
Well, that's what it's about, man. That's what it's about. It's like Bajans love food bad.
Mhm.
And if it's one thing that I could say, you know, I cook in quite a few countries, and I can tell you, Bajans know good food,
Yeah.
and they're not shy to tell you when it's not good food. So, like when you mess with Bajans,
You've had that experience before where some person, like, you know, had something that you would have made and didn't necessarily enjoy it.
yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. I
Mhm.
mean, you know, at any day is a sport where, well, I say sport, but it's a game where is opinionated,
Yeah.
and so everybody tastes was different.
Yeah. My palate might be different to yours,
Exactly.
etc.
So and that's what's come with experience. Now it's trying like when they cook. Sometimes when they put a meal out there to the masses, that is not exactly to a T what it's supposed to be or how it would cook it if it was doing it for less people.
Yeah.
But when they're doing it for the masses, you know, man, this here should be a little spicy, you know, but I can dumb that down.
Yeah.
You know, like that kind of stuff. This herb is be a little strong. Everybody might not like that strong rosemary flavor. So
Yeah.
you can put a little bit so that you can get it, but you can, you know, you learn how to, you know, you learn how to play to the crowd. It's like a DJ. You know,
Yeah.
you learn how to,
To
you
pivot,
know,
as we like to say
correct.
nowadays.
You know that certain crowds, I can come in here and shout on the place.
Yeah.
You know, and another crowd, we playing Sweet Caroline.
Yeah.
You know,
You can just be a little. You can
you
just
know
be
what
a
I'm
little
saying?
more
So
refined.
correct. So you kind of learn that with the experience, but it's an opinionated game, and you learn to take. You know, as I always say, the crowd and the people that eating is the judge.
Yeah.
That's what it's always say. That's what it's always tell my team. Like, no matter how good we think it tastes, the people is the judge.
Correct. And I mean, there's so much that we can say. There's so much that you can add. You know, about your journey as a chef. You know, and we definitely want to thank you for coming out today, Marvin, and having a chat with us here on Positive Profiles. As I said, we spoke about culture, we spoke about cuisine, and we also learned a bit about, you know, what keeps Marvin Applewaith going as one of our locally and internationally acclaimed chefs. My name is Rashid Holder, and this has been Positive Profiles.